What is going on, guys? Dylan Conrad here, reporting live from my office. Okay, so first exercise, let's get right into it. Rear foot elevated split squats. And if these are too hard, there's a list on your workout with options. So you could do a split squat. You could do a TRX split squat if that's too hard for you, just a regular split squat. But the set and rep scheme is you're going to do 10 on each side. These are warm-up set, just with body weight. But you're going to do 10 on each side. That's my client taunting me while I'm trying to get into position. But 10 on each side here, and then you're going to go right into 5 on each side, then 3 on each side, and 2 on each side without stopping or dropping the weight if you're using weight. I start off pretty aggressive. I start with 50 pounds for this one, and it just smoked me. I actually wanted to do the whole workout. The first one I kind of just like dilly-dallied around and just showed the motions, but this one I actually did, and I am sitting one day later in my office, so I'm so sore. But anyways, technique on here, squeeze your shoulder blades together as hard as you can. That shin, the front shin, you should try to keep perpendicular to the ground for the most part, and that will hit the glute more on the front leg. The back foot, you want to keep the shoelace part flat on the bench. It's a little awkward at first, but as you get into it and as you get used to it, it gets a little easier. You can see on the top that my back knee never really extends straight. Always keep a soft bend at the back, and that'll keep the foot nice and in a good position. If this is too hard on your ankle, you can go on your toe and kind of flex the ankle. But yeah, this is the rear foot elevated split squat. I had to drop the weights there because it was just getting way too hard. So this is important, and I want you to note it on your program. You'll have a hard copy, and we sped through this clip. But since I missed those 50 pounds, I had to put them down. Put a question mark next to the weight on the first week. So I'd put 50 pounds and then a question mark. So the next week I went to them, I know that I'd try to do 50 pounds, and I couldn't get it. On the set 2, I went down to 30 pounds. That's my trainer walking in front of the camera, my client. It's nice. So yeah, and then just record, adjust accordingly. You'll kind of get a feel for your body and how you're moving with the weight. So that's basically what you're going to do there. We'll speed through this clip, and we'll get to the next exercise, which is shoulders elevated glute bridges. These are fantastic for your glutes. Your butt is the biggest muscle in the human body. It's the biggest muscle in my body, because I have a big butt. But anyways, so when you work the glute, you're going to get a huge metabolic payoff. Everyone has really developed quads because we're sitting all day, and then we go and do some workouts, and our quads just dominate and take over all the movements, so they hypertrophy and they grow. We want to hit the backside because, one, it's a bigger muscle, so we'll get more metabolic payoff. But two, from a physique standpoint and leg development standpoint, we're already developed pretty well at the quads. We need to hit the glutes and the hamstrings more. So you see on this form, my toe is elevated on that down leg. My hips are bridging up until I'm parallel with the ground. The hinge part of the bench is right below my shoulder blade on that. If this is too easy for you, you can put a barbell across your hips, or you can elevate your foot on another bench. So you can have a bench for your shoulders and then a bench for your foot, and go what's called to a deficit. Next one, we got RDLs, and you can use a barbell, you can use a dumbbell. I prefer the barbell just because it locks my shoulder blades in a little bit easier. The form on this is push your hips back, and this is just a warm-up set. You're going to push your hips back as far as you can, getting a deep stretch in the hamstrings. If you feel this in your low back, you're doing it wrong. Either your back's not flat, so try to keep your head facing the wall, and a very, very soft bend in the knees to stretch out those hamstrings. So those first two were warm-up sets. This is the actual set of 4 to 6 reps. If you hit a weight that you did easily for 6 reps, the next week you're going to go up in weight, and you're going to keep going up in weight until you can only hit 4 reps. And then from there, you're going to try to get to 6 reps, so with that same weight. This is the last set, the 6 to 8 reps. I had to blast through this because they were waiting on the rack, so I just had to blast through the set here. But try to go down nice and stable, and then snap your hips back up and squeeze your butt cheeks on the top. So you can see this is obviously all leg day, but really hammer in that posterior chain. I can't emphasize enough how important the posterior chain is, not only in just burning body fat and building muscle and from a physique standpoint, but also from a corrective standpoint. We're sitting all day, our glutes become very inactive, our hips become very tight. So on this exercise, your feet go in the middle of the ball. You see it earlier, I had to adjust them to put in the middle of the ball. You're bridging your hips up from the shoulder to the knee, all in one straight line. If you can't do this, you can two-part it, which is basically you keep your butt on the ground, you bring your feet towards your butt, and then you bridge up into the air, and then you slowly lower yourself. If that's too easy, put a slide board under your feet. You can also use towels if you're using tile. There's easy adaptations, but then you get more friction with that. This is the calf raise, 3-part. So first you're doing straight ahead for 10 reps, and then you're going to point your toe inwards for 10 reps, and then you're going to point your toe, this is outwards here, for 10 more reps. And a lot of research recently has been popping back up. I think there's a big case for moving your body in certain ways during exercise to work different muscle groups. That was thought it was bullshit for a while, and it's actually just become surfaced again that this actually has a lot of the truth to it. So moving your hips inwards and outwards and moving the articulation of the calf muscle, you're going to be hitting different parts. So we're trying to go outer, inner, middle here for some calf development. We also put our single joint movements, at the end of the movement. So that means that like just one joint's moving. So here it's just my ankle. That's a lot easier on your nervous system. And so this one I sped through. You got 4 sets here. These crushed me. You can probably see like I can't walk. I'm rubbing my client's shoulders there. He has a bad shoulder, but I'm hitting his rotator cuff. I'm actually a massage therapist too. I have every certification in the world. So yeah, here's just blasting through the set. If you can't use, I didn't use any weight on the 2nd through 4th set. It's just too hard, and I was holding onto the wall, which is totally fine. You can actually use it to push yourself up to get full range. That's the end of the workout. Enjoy.